Alrighty. Electric type gym leader battle. Yeah, I don't know what was wrong with the audio for this one. I had to put something else over it. But yeah, let's get started with this battle review. Immediately go for the fake out. Love me some tails. Gotta hit him with that normal jump fake out power. Probably wasn't expecting that deep of a hit. Also wasn't expecting that deep of a hit, but I expected to live it. And the KO here was perfect. Yeah, this was one of the few single battles that I had. When the gym leader told me, "Hey, we're gonna run this as singles battle," I was like, "Okay, I don't think I had a singles battle yet, but this will be fun." Here comes a big threat. Electrode. Told myself that I had to think smart here. Either had to go into Gliscor or was hoping to go into Electivire. Didn't know what it would do, so I think that going into Gliscor would have been the better option. Yeah, I didn't realize Homie would put up in a reflect there. I don't know if I had any brick breaks on some of my Pokemon in this battle. The only one I would have put it on would have probably been Electivire. The moveset I had him on, I don't think I did. Then he goes for the Terra. Ice Terra. Yeah, definitely was not predicting this. Never really encountered a grass and electric type. I think this is probably the only one. No, I lied. Rotom's a grass electric. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that Terra Blast. Had to figure out a way around this. And I said, you know what? Let's go into Koridon. Bring the heat. I guess the one thing that I had a hard time with in these gym battles, trying to figure out when the best time would be to use my legendaries. I believe I brought it up several times already. And these gosh darn protects. I did have Brick Break actually, now that I think about it. Koridon did have Brick Break. I was trying to see if I could use it so I can get rid of that Reflect. Still probably should have went for the Brick Break though. I don't know why I didn't continue to use it. Almost knocked it out. Guarantee probably would have been able to get it in one shot. But I think the issue here is I think he's trying to stall the sun. Decided to go for the breaking swipe this time to lower any attack in case he decided to switch. Also didn't realize that his tail curls up every time he uses a tail slapping attack. That's kind of cool to notice. Now this is where it gets a little dicey. Trying to remember or to figure out what I should use. Probably is going to use a Dazzling Gleam or maybe even a Dragon Pulse. Either way, if I try to Terra here, I think I might be cooked. I decided to pull back my Koraidon, and I go for Electivire. Didn't know if it was going to use Electro Drift, but I definitely did want to abuse the power of its Electric type moves. Let's see. I did go for a Light Screen, that's right. I wanted to neutralize as much of the special attacking power. Went for the Lantern. Probably thought I was going to use some sort of ice type move. Regardless, we're already prepared for this. I got Trailblaze in the back. Everything's going to be fine. Try to stockpile on me. I don't remember what I did here. I think I might have terrored here. This might have been it. My grass terror would have been a little bit more effective for it, but this leftovers isn't really helping me out too much. Trailblaze. All right, that electrode is back. I think I finished it here with the Supercell Slam. Don't exactly remember. All right, perfect. It went down in one shot. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's been about like a month or so since these battles actually happened. Some of them have been 2 months, actually. Most of my badges were collected, I think, about a month after I joined Tajiri. The much tougher ones I got around the month prior to this one. Yeah, so I started Tajiri about like late in May. I got like half my badges in June. I was also like caught up with like a wedding, not mine, but my friends, and then a couple of the things ensued right after. So yeah, Tajiri was just it was just another way for me to like express a lot of things and show my battling talent and to see how far I could go. I'm very close though. At the time of this recording, I still have 2 more badges left, but I think we're gonna do great. I think towards the end of this battle, I depended solely on this Electivire. I was so confident using it that I think I kept it the majority of the time. There we go with that Ice Punch. I don't think I did too much to settle the score here, but he did its good job. One of my favorites, Quixote. Yeah, because this was a normal battle, I probably should have gave it Earthquake instead of High Horsepower. Yeah, he tried to neutralize that damage as much as power. Decided to swap out, go into Illuminate. Illuminate is one of my older EVs. I don't remember where I got this one from. It was either Pokemon Go or I got it as a shiny somewhere else. Regardless, Illuminate's probably one of my better evolutions. Yeah, you try to beat me over the head with an Ivy Cudgel. Wasn't gonna work, pal. I have enough HP to live another attack. I figured he'd U-turn, and I also figured I'd live. So I decided to go for a Toxic so that Miraidon could go down. If all else failed. Yeah, it was only a matter of time until this Miraidon went down. I decided to swap back into Quixote. Stamina boost. Get body pressed. Ironically, that special defense berry didn't really help me out at the end. I probably should have just give it like a speed berry or like a defensive boost berry to increase the body press's effect. I think I decided to stay with Quixote for this one. Yeah, he wasn't gonna live that, unfortunately. You took out a Miraidon. I'm proud of you. And then here comes Ambipom to finish it up. Figured it would spike his shield, so I went for a little tickle attack. Yeah, at this point in time, I think I was laughing really hard at Tajiri. I was telling people, hey, don't mess around. Once you get tickled by Miami Pop, it's over. And everyone was like, what? Yeah, man, no, I'm not gonna lie. Getting tickled by an Ambipom? No, that's the craziest move ever. I don't see anyone else use this move. Alrighty, so the first battle ended off pretty well. It's now time for the second battle. Alright, let's see if we can prepare to watch this one. So we did a little bit of a switch up. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I switched out a couple Pokemon. Yeah, so I added a Smeargle, a Cinderace, a Rillaboom, and a Great Tusk. Yeah, I swapped out at least 4 Pokemon, guys. I wasn't the only one who did as well. So we got a swap out for an Alolan Raichu. I think it was a good move. Another good move was that fake out. I was trying to start off with a Mud Shot so I could turn to a ground type. There's that Libero ground typing. Yeah, it didn't get as much effect off that mud shot as I wanted to. The speed lowering was really good. Didn't anticipate that ice punch. Yeah, I felt really bad. That was a perfect opportunity wasted. I really wanted to use Libero because I remember that Leon's in the anime was going kind of crazy. He also did fumble it. I figured it was for plot, but Pikachu should not have won that fight. I'm not kidding. Pikachu should not have won. Got photosynthesis. Try to see if I can go for a what was it? A rapid spin? Yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for me to get my speed up. I did remember he did have Ice Punch still, but I figured he'd swap anyway. Revival Blessings is a really good move, and I got rid of it the last time. Yeah, you thought I was gonna use a ground type move. I wasn't as predicted, but I do want to get my speed up. So yeah, I think I went for the smackdown here. I wanted to get that thing on the ground so I could use a was it a headlong rush? Screen's kind of small. Pretty early Terra here. I was anticipating a what was it? A grass knot? Yes, we did a smackdown and a headlong rush. For those of you who don't know what I just did, using a move like smackdown allows flying types and Pokemon with levitate to fall straight to the ground. That way we can use ground type moves. Poor Electros did not stand a chance. All right, here comes the Miraidon. Definitely not faster, but let's see what we can do. And the field's also been taken over too, so I can't really put it to sleep like I wanted to. All right, so we go into the Rillaboom here. Grassy Surge on the field. I want to say this is the official battle that I've locked in when it came to terrain effects. I know that Miraidon, Rillaboom, and Indeedee tend to be some of the more used Pokemon when it comes to terrain because of their abilities, the surges. Pincurchin also has Electric Surge as well, but because Miraidon has that, what is it called? What is it? I forgot its ability. Hadron Engine. That's it. Hadron Engine allows it to summon a electric terrain to the field and gets a boost to its special attack. Or Calcum Pulse allows you to summon the sun, but gives you a boost to your attack. Yeah, with a lot of that going around, we gotta have counters for it, right? Thus comes the Rillaboom with it and its fake out abilities, its knockoff, and its grassy slide or grassy glide. Um, it's a menace on the battlefield. This is another moment I probably should have waited to use the Terra. If I anticipate this right, and I've already know what happens at the end. I've already done this before. But if I were to choose a Pokemon to swap into, it would be Illuminate. Especially knowing for what this thing did before, I want to prepare for a potential Ice Terra, but also its speed and power is kind of annoying too. Didn't want to recklessly throw out a Koraidon just so I could knock out the Reflect, but it probably wouldn't have been able to do enough. Go for the Snarl. Forget that it has soundproof. I remember screaming about this, and I was just like, wow. There goes Snarl. Can't use it to lower its special. And I said, okay, well, Psychic isn't going to kill it, so let's see if I can chip it. Withdraws again. This time, we're going to be poisoning Miraidon. Again. Perfect timing, too. Loved it at Fairy Turn. Totally forgot that it did it earlier, by the way. I looked away for like 2 seconds. Yeah, I don't think he really had too much of a choice. He's kind of forced to do that. Went for a super effective move. Didn't really do too much damage. The crazy part of that move is I still survived. Not saying that it was guaranteed that I was going to get hit and lose that turn. I'm very surprised by myself. But here comes Ogerpon. That was a perfect switch, though. I'm not going to lie. I probably should have went for something like Psychic and just done more damage. Yeah, right now I'm just trying to decide who could take an Ivy Cudgel. I'm honestly also just trying to decide if my Umbreon even needs to be in the battle for right now. So I decided this, you know what? If I'm going to die, let's just go out with a bang. Would have been definitely crazy if I survived that U-turn. But now he's forced to switch. And now I have the ultimate time to see what's coming out and then plan a strategy against it. If I think correctly, I think a Alolan Raichu might be coming out. Yeah. Yeah, I would throw it out now, especially with the field effect. Perfect time for me to throw in my Rillaboom. Yeah, my Smeargle is pretty much useless here. Now its priority speed is gone. Yeah, I still decided to go for it anyway. Okay, I ate the Terror Blast, decided to hit it with my own Terror Blast. Still survived, which is crazy. Probably should have just went ahead and gone for a Grassy Glide. Ironically, I should have just hit a knockoff earlier. The hard part is now. Grass is gone. Perfect time to bring out a Maridon. Don't know why I decided to bring out my Great Tusk. I know it has the Fighting Terror, but that left me open for a Maridon. At the end of the day, I was pretty much put into a deadlock situation. I had a Pokemon that could Volt Switch out, and then I also had a Pokemon that could U-turn out. The only logical thing for me to do in this situation is to throw my Rillaboom out on the field so that it could neutralize the effect of the electric terrain. It's probably going to swap anyway. And there goes Ivory Fang. Ironically, its name should have just been Ivory Fang. I mean, don't get me wrong. What is it? Great Tusk? Great Tusk is okay. I just personally like the name Ivory Fang, but that's just me. Yeah, I kind of didn't have too much of a choice here. We were both gonna die. We both. I just needed to get rid of the train setter. GG's, Rillaboom. You took out the Maridon, but you didn't live to see it. Well, still got two Pokemon, and we don't have to worry about an electric terrain anymore. This is the crucial moment here. I didn't want to have to use my Smeargle this fight because I hate using extremely cheesy moves, and I was also worried about that electric terrain. But now I got three Pokemon I got to deal with. Goes for the fake out. I get healed from the terrain, which isn't bad. Still going for the. I think I decided to go for the collision course here. Two each. Now this is where it gets confusing. I think I went for breaking swipe because I needed to get rid of that thing's attack. But I was still getting damaged by the shields. But we're not going to give this up. He knows I'm faster. And now that the grass is gone, he can't use Grassy Glide, even if he did have it. I mean, he can use it. 2 spiky shields in a row. I haven't seen luck like this in a while. What really got me mad, and I don't remember if it was this battle, but I think there was 3 spiky shields that got out. That got me so upset. So now the clock is ticking. This is it. That's right. The 3rd spiky shield. I don't know how, but he managed to pull up 3 spiky shields. He knew he was slower than me. I had to knock him out. The sun was gone. I said, okay, he has to die here. I should have just hit him with the collision course from the beginning. But now the sun was gone. No longer limited by the sun, so he could have used his IV cudgel. Probably was going to spiky shield again. Decided to switch here. Survived on 1 HP because of my focus sash. I needed that sun back, and I desperately needed that sun back. I'm running out of time. I needed to fight. U-turn? Okay, not bad. This was probably one of my most closest matches, and I was not willing for it to go like this. Thankfully, he sped up with the choosing of his Pokemon and the choosing of his moves. But he only had 2 left. So there wasn't much he could have done. The clock is still ticking, though. I think I remember myself saying that I'm so screwed. I only have 1 Pokemon. I only have 1 minute left. How am I going to make this work? I don't know how I pulled through, but I did. I went for, I think, a Temper Flare here. KOs. I was lucky with that. The sun boosted physical attack. Here comes Ogerpon. And this is where my life changed. I was freaking out. Spiky Shield number 1. Hit him with the Temper Flare. Still got hit. Okay, so I took damage. 10 seconds left on the clock. Ooh. Spiky Shield missed. Go for the collision course. Time went out. But I got the final hit and secured victory. That was probably the closest victory I've ever gotten. All I have to say is that I'm getting closer and closer with these gym badges, and I can't wait for the next video to drop. Thank you so much, Harrison, and thank you so much, everyone, for watching.